Hey guys, Westy here. Okay, I am not about to trust a expensive helicopter like this Goblin on the fact that it came assembled from the factory. All of these sub-assemblies like the tail assembly and the head all came pre-assembled, so I'm not going to trust someone else on a $2 bolt and risk my machine because I was a bit too, because I was lazy to check everything. So I'm going to strip down the assembly and make sure all the bearings are all lubricated correctly and everything's tightened. I've gone through and I've done all of these bolts here, the two there and the two there. I've re-Loctited those, so I'll have to take one of them off. So basically all we've got to do here, excuse me, is take off this these little ones here. We'll undo those. Yeah, I can feel my Loctite was definitely in there. Okay, we'll take that one out. Leave that in there like that. Or let it drop out like that. And then we'll undo this one as well. As you can hear, it was nice and tight, and definitely a lot of Loctite resistance on that screw, so she never would have come out in a million years, which is great. So I'll just take that out, and that frees the slider away, so you can actually work on the rest of it. So one thing to note though is you need to make sure that you put your blades, these attachments back onto the blade grips correctly. So they've got like what they call a trailing edge setup. So with this blade here at the top, that's gonna a leading edge. So when you when the blade rotates this way, this edge here is leading, so that's the way you want to set it up, just like it is now. So leading to the front at the bottom. Okay, so now what we need to do is undo this bolt here. It's nice and tight, real tight, it's great. You don't have to worry about it like on a main shaft. Well, it's spinning because it's actually a solid shaft on this end. But it's quite tight, so it would have never come undone, but like I said, you've got to check it. If you don't check it, it's going to be yourself kicking yourself if it hits a deck and you find one of the screws has come loose. So like this is a brand spanking new helicopter, and I'm not going to trust that someone else has done it correctly. So call me non-trusting, but I say it's my own insurance policy. Okay, so that's slowly coming out, very slowly. That definitely had a lot of Loctite. Even screwing all the way out here, it's still tight. So the Loctite was definitely, or the thread lock was definitely doing a good job, and it's a really long screw too. So they really go quite a long way. So that's how long the screw is. It's mean. That's almost going right to the centre, so that's given it heaps of added strength as well. It basically makes it solid in the middle. So that's one side. So I'll get this end off now. Oops. So the size of this is 3mm. It's really tight, really tight. I can't even get that off. That's not coming off. I'm not going to take that off. No way. Otherwise I'll wreck my tool. I'll pull that apart when it blows to bits. Yeah, so anyway, I'll pull one side apart and see if I can I'll see if I can get it apart actually. But that, I can't believe how tight that is. That is mean tight. I reckon I'd bend. I'm going to give it one last go and see what I can. Nah. Okay, I've really had a good go at getting this off and I just can't do it. It's just so tight. So what I've done is I've got some lithium polymer spray here that I use. It's called Prolon. You don't know if you can buy it in the States, but it's definitely available here. And I just spray it. There's actually a gap in here. I'll zoom in so you can see it. You can see the bearing. You see the gold part there? That's the thrust, the actual bearing itself. So what I've done is I've got a rag like this, and I put it in here like this to protect everything else. And so you can actually spray the lubricant right into the hole. If you've got one of those little extension things that comes out of the end of these things. So I'm just going to basically protect everything else and spray directly onto that bearing. Give it a good 5 sprays, and then I'm going to wipe the excess off, and that way I've kept everything nice and clean. One down through the centre here, and that's actually really freed it up a lot. Like just doing that has turned this into a real smooth operation. So I'm going to put a bit of grease on this other thrust here, this one here, on this end. So I'm just going to get my I just use a little cotton bud like that. Use my grease. I use basically a high temp waterproof grease. More's one, this one. And just basically put a dab down. Just get your bearing